Everyone asks me this after I share that I saved 15 to 50% of my paycheck for real estate investing. And okay, but how much did you actually save, right? That's the question that I typically get. And let me be clear, this wasn't about being extreme. It was about making something manageable, being intentional with my goal of doing something to move the needle and not living paycheck to paycheck. So here's what I found where most people get stuck. They wait to see what's left at the end of the month, and if there's extra, great, they save it. If there's not, well, next month, right? So that's really kind of a reality. That's where we see people get stuck. I myself was right there. But that mindset, it keeps people in the same place year after year if you don't do anything about it. So I realized pretty quickly that if I treated saving like an intentional bill and not like an optional thing, I would move the needle pretty quickly. So investing was never going to happen if I just treated it like optional. So that's really important. So as far as like how much did I even start to save? I didn't start at 50%. In fact, I started with a number that made me pause and didn't panic. And that for me was 15% of my paychecks. Again, it was just not optional. That's a really important point. And I really just encourage you to be thinking about a number that makes sense for you. So maybe it's not 15%, maybe it's like 5% or 10%, but you have to do something in order to move the needle forward. So here's the rule I followed. If it had to stretch me but not break me, that's a number that I was going with. And so some months I could push it a little higher. If I made more one month, if I had a bonus, I would be investing more into that savings account. Other months I just had to pull back because life, emergencies. But the habit, it stayed the same, and that's like really the most important thing that I can share. And one of the other big light bulb moments for me was that I was not very good keeping it in the same bank and having that much access to it, because then I could just transfer money if I was low, etc. You get the point. And so I had to open a completely separate account that was only for investing at a different bank. Like, I just want to be completely clear that that is what helped move the needle, because I didn't trust myself, quite frankly, and that might be the case for yourself. But it wasn't supposed to be spent on emergencies or vacations, or I'll just borrow from it real quick because it was right there in the bank account. So that was a big thing. This separation, it really just changed my behavior. And so maybe you hadn't thought about something like that, and I hope that that's helpful. But once my money had a purpose, I stopped spending it emotionally. It was just like a transaction. And that was big for me. I treated my investing savings like a bill. The transfer happened as soon as I got paid, not at the end of the month, but at the beginning of when the money came in the door. Before dinners happened, before shopping happened, before any kind of like upgrades or repairs, it was a bill that was just non-negotiable. And that's really how you have to treat it. So that one shift made saving automatic instead of exhausting. So hopefully that makes sense. The biggest mistake I see investors make is they're trying to be perfect, and they're trying to time the market and wait till other things are paid. And they say things like, I'll start when I make more, I'll save once life slows down, I'll do it next year, I'll do it next month. And friends, it doesn't happen. So you have to have a plan, you have to have a strategy, and this has been a life-changing thing for me. So progress comes from the momentum, not perfection. So keep that in mind. Saving consistently, even a lower percentage, beats waiting forever and not doing anything. What I learned through this process is that wealth is best done quietly. It's built quietly, it's not flashy, it's not overnight, and it usually doesn't look very impressive at first. It's not until you really keep looking at it, maybe like 6 months later, where you actually see like, oh my gosh, there's progress. There's money in that account. That money is going to fund something different that I want for my lifestyle. And the boring, disciplined decisions, they just stack up. So one day you realize you gave yourself options. And I'm telling you, it's like no other. I've been playing Monopoly my whole life, and I am a real life version of what Monopoly can do for you. So if you're serious about real estate investing, this is where it starts, my friends. Not with the deal, not with the market, but with the habit. So I hope you found this information really helpful. I hope that it spurs you to action. And if you want my beginning investor guide, just comment invest, and I'm happy to share that with you. I would love for you to like this video if it helped you, and please consider subscribing because I will be putting out more content.